In a rare leak, a Supreme Court draft opinion showed that the justices are considering whether to overturn the landmark Roe v. Wade decision that established a constitutional right to an abortion.
Justice Alito's leaked draft opinion came in a case that deals with abortion completely front and center, but there's all these other rights that are wrapped up in the right to abortion. We call them substantive due process rights. It includes things like access to contraception. It includes things like same-sex marriage.
Go get it. As the days go by and we talked about it, I think you realize how this could potentially impact our day-to-day lives. It's a pretty scary thought.
Is there a sense that you're always looking over your shoulder at the possibility that a conservative court could unwind it?
You know, with the past administration and some of the things we've seen take place that we all say we've never expected to see in our country. I mean, I think we were warmed up to the possibility that something could happen.
Some of these rights are things that Americans kind of take for granted, but advocates and academics say that because the right to abortion kind of rests on the same legal principle as these other rights, that they could all be at stake if the Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade.
And we know that some of the justices, Justice Alito in particular, and Justice Thomas, have written concurrences where they expressed great disapproval with Obergefell, thought that it also rested on really shoddy underpinnings. And so, you know, there are a few justices who I think would be happy to overturn it, and certainly a majority who are not happy with that ruling. Whether they would be willing to overturn it is another story.
Legal experts say that if the Supreme Court overrules Roe by wiping away the legal underpinning for the right to an abortion, then the court could do the same thing for other rights that are at stake. That's what LGBTQ advocates are worried about. It's what same-sex couples are worried about. But Justice Alito, in his draft opinion, tries to draw a distinction between these rights.
And if Roe is overturned, do you think that it sort of energizes your side in this debate? Or does Alito's drawing of distinction sort of throw cold water on the idea that Obergefell could be challenged in some way?
No, I think it will energize, the principle base in that, you know, what we would like to see, what we always advocated for, is a return to the political process and the democratic process of this issue. And we believe that the same rationale follows in the Dobbs case, with respect to issues like same-sex marriage, that if the Constitution is silent, which was the holding of Baker v. Nelson before Obergefell, which was implicitly upheld even in the Windsor decision just 2 years earlier than Obergefell, that this issue belongs by right to the states. And I think that this will be seen by our movement as a step toward returning that to its rightful place in civic discourse.
What else is at stake?
So I think that Alito is trying to argue that contraception and same-sex marriage and interracial marriage are really very different than abortion, because abortion is the taking of a life. On the other hand, contraception, I think, is also potentially at risk because we've seen sort of growing efforts to try to limit that. Of course, the public has become much more supportive of same-sex marriage, but that doesn't seem to matter to this court, right? The court doesn't care that the majority of Americans support the right to an abortion.
I guess I wonder if what Alito's saying there gives you any sense of comfort or not.
I don't feel, that is the reality.
It feels very political, right? Which is what makes it scary, because the Supreme Court is the one thing we should all trust, and I think that's what is clear that is not happening, right? Like, it's not being neutral, and it's heavily politicized. You know, anything could happen.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, check out these other videos from USA Today to stay up to date with all the latest news.